language of the heart is the language of the infinite. The mind seeks rational development, seeks rational thought, seeks to know, to understand, to classify. But the mind has a closer relationship to the brain and the physical body than does the heart. They are two aspects of being, of consciousness. When consciousness runs through the brain and body mechanisms, the rational mind comes into view. So the rational mind is limited by circumstantial evidence, experience, and the degree of knowledge in the intellect. Decisions are made based on these. But that which is called the spiritual heart, that is a portion of consciousness, of your aware beingness, that is not as directly associated with the physical form. It has its development not in knowledge stored in the brain, not in the values of the society in which you live, but the knowledge of the heart is transcendent. It does not necessarily have root in the brain or in the mind associated with the brain. It has root in the spirit, in the consciousness of being. And the media is most closely described as love. The media on which this consciousness, this beingness, this awareness moves, communicates, is present. So the rational mind utilizes the brain function to create thought. Thought is associated with the body and with the spirit, the consciousness of your being. But it has a root in the physical body, in the brain, in the nervous system, in the memory and definitions of self associated with physical manifestation. The spiritual heart does not have those limitations. It embodies and it's felt in the emotions. So the feeling of pleasure, of bliss, comes in the body and mind. when love expands. But the root of that sentiment, the true love, the love you share with the infinite, does not rest in the physical body. It rests in the subtle psychic spheres, in the subtle intuition, in the subtlest connection of being to being, of that which you know as your soul, as your Atman, to the Paramatman, the infinite being. That resonance is forged in love, in being, in aware consciousness. It is a movement of the mind that is not bound to the body or the brain or the nervous system, though it greatly impacts all of this. When the blessings of the infinite and the shower of grace fall upon you and the heart is opened, the mind stunned, the body fills with bliss, the brain becomes flooded with that which resonates in the body with the infinite. That association brings great healing to body and mind, to the manifest substance. But the greater healing is to the soul, to the Atman. For the Atman, which has been witnessing your unique existence as a manifestation, begins to feel that manifestation dissolve into the greater aspect, the wholeness of being. And in that, the soul finds great nurturance in the source of its essence. When that jiva, that individual it has been focusing on, dissolves into the whole, then there is the bliss of knowing. Knowledge, true knowledge, of the nature of self, floods the mind, the brain, the body, to the extent that that knowledge can be held. It is held, it is remembered, but it is so much greater than the individual that the experience only partially goes into the memory, into the brain. For the experience is in the vastness of being. In your essential nature. Love is a word used in many ways. It is most frequently used in human association as a kind of bargaining. I love you if you love me. But beneath the bargaining is a longing. I love you, but you give me closeness, you care for me, you do these things, then I return that to you. Is the outer love that humans often share, animals share. But beneath it is an essential longing within the spirit, within the heart. A longing for undefined closeness. A longing that the separation of self and other be dissolved. But there is not a knowledge of how to dissolve it. So there is a reaching out. Please love me. I will love you in return. Because there is no knowledge of how to get this true unity. It happens in moments, and those moments create a thirst, a longing for more. More of this feeling of completeness, of wholeness, of love beyond definition. The longing in the heart grows. The restlessness in the mind searches, oftentimes in avenues that prove false, do not satisfy the heart. And when they're achieved, there is a moment of happiness, and then there is again restlessness. For the heart wants this unity, wants to return to that which it knows deep within, the wholeness of being, the love which cannot die. How to find that love? So spirituality is found, religion or spiritual path. And so one begins to meditate. All right, if I meditate long enough and hard enough, that which I consider Lord will give me what I want, will bestow upon me the love I seek. And despite all your efforts and your concentration and your discipline, that love, that fullness somehow seems to evade. Somehow you're not getting. You put in a lot that you're not getting. Enough for your money, huh? Isn't it the same? I will give you this, then you give me that. It is still the little mind trying to acquire, the incarnate ego trying to acquire, to possess something. But the deep love, the love of the infinite, is not something that can be acquired or possessed. Eventually, in this restlessness, in this longing of the heart, this desire to return to the infinite, it grows and grows until it is consuming. You want that. You want it. But all your efforts don't seem to produce. Maybe here and there, a little samadhi here, a little samadhi there. But you want more. You want something complete. Until finally, a time comes when the scale tips. Perhaps the infinite gives you a glimpse. Awe fills you. Love divine fills you. And in the face of that greatness, you realize there is nothing to acquire. There is only to give. Give yourself. Let go. Surrender it all. And when love does not seek to grasp, but instead lets go, when the ego does not try to hold on, but instead says, Lord, I am yours. When surrender fills the mind and the heart, and you begin to fall back into, to break apart and dissolve into that which you love, that which is the essence of love. There is no holding on. There is no acquiring. Rather, there is letting go, giving, surrendering. All that you have thought you are, all that you have believed you are, even those ill feelings about yourself, even those shadows you don't want anyone to see, exposing them to this great light, to this infinite love, giving it all. Leaving nothing behind, giving everything. Then you begin to understand the beloved. You align in that love, which has no bounds, which is unconditional. For you have given everything unconditionally. What is there but the beloved? in every breath that fills the body, in the food, in those around you, in the breeze that touches your skin, in the sunlight, in the earth. There is nothing but this, beloved. For once the ego, the incarnate identity and individuality truly surrenders, breaks apart and dissolves into that infinite love, into the true beloved, the core of your heart, the self of yourself. That beloved crosses time and space, all dissolves in that one love. This is the true knowledge. This knowledge forever changes you as that which has been an ego self, a conglomerate of experiences and reactions to experiences, of samskara and karma. That basket of karma coalesces again. It is never the same, for you have touched the beloved, and the deep seed of love grows in your heart. And you know the true love, the letting go, into infinity. Held in the arms of beloved, you are never the same. That love is the pole star of your life. It is the home within you. And the world around you changes from a mundane, external, ordinary existence to the very expression, the dance in form of that infinite one, all around you, touching you, loving you with every embrace of this world, teaching you, guiding you. Then when you sit for meditation, you are no longer trying to achieve something. Rather, it is your opportunity to give yourself fully, completely to that most beloved of your heart. to give yourself without reserve. There is nothing to achieve. There is no ladder to climb too high in holiness. Rather, in the language of the heart, all belongs to the most beloved. From this true knowledge, viveka arises, and from that knowledge, vairagya, detachment from the unreal, attachment to the real. All right. Namaskar.